The college basketball experience preview and picks episode for Tuesday, January 30th on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Yes, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and available in 40 different states. Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And there are only a few days left to get 15% off everything in the SGPN merch store. What are you doing, folks? You can get a Pick Dundee t-shirt like I'm wearing right now. All right, get on over there with the promo code playoffs. Once again, SGPN merch store, 15% off everything. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
What's up, everybody? This is Cameron Krog from Loyola Chicago Ramblers, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Shout out to the Broad Stop. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience preview and picks episode for Tuesday, January 30th. Oh boy, just a couple games final. But I am currently 2-0. But I mean, I'm like the chat. What the fuck's going on with Jackson State? What the fuck's going on right now? What the fuck is going? Get your shit together, Tigers. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
That's what you got to do if you're having a couple tough losses. You got to use old Dundee advice. All right, get along with your life. You know, move along, bet again. But I'm 2-0 tonight. And half my parlay, my Dundee parlay. I know we have our other parlay. Oh, come on, Longhorns. Don't fucking do it. No, do it. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for, and hopefully you're watching youtube.com/the college experience. Give it up for former video coordinator for Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the Big 12 College Experience, host of the Ryan and Rush Show. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre, aka Money Line Mac.
What's up, man? There you go.
Oh, look at that.
Hopefully you don't get sued off this. Yeah, so usually if Dundee or I are having a good night, but there's only 2 games final, and I'm sitting here with my drink going, whose dumbass idea in the MEAC and SWAC was it to start all these fucking games at the same time? I can't monitor all these games.
Yeah. I mean, we got to get that going. But look, we do have Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. There you go. I love that. I mean, we're gonna run that into the ground. Just so you know,
you said you were gonna look it up last night. I didn't know you'd already have it ready queued up.
I don't fuck around. When I say I'm doing something, I fucking do it. All right. We are joined by third man in the booth, back from. Rumor has it he spent $25,000 down at Disneyland or Disney World. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free luck giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's up, gentlemen?
Did you get your Mickey ears?
You damn straight I did.
You still got those?
After all the money I spent, they better give me a pair for free. Well, they didn't. Those are still like $10 each.
Yeah, I mean they'll get you any way possible. At least Disneyland. I haven't been to the world. I've been to land down here.
Don't worry, same thing.
Yeah, just robbery. They used to have the House of Blues in there, and I did comedy at the House of Blues there a few times. Let's just say, as a struggling comic, you're like, hey, you want to come down here? And you figure gas from LA to Anaheim. That's first off, you got to leave like 4 hours ahead of time for a 7:30 show. You're just not making. You got to leave at 4:00, and then you're trapped in Disneyland to spend more money, but you're making like 50. You're like, hey, $50. I can come down there and open up for somebody, but then it's $50 to park, the time, the gas. So you're driving back home just crying yourself to sleep. You're just like, God damn it, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I lost money by going to do stand up. You went there so early, no one was at the fucking thing if you're opening up. But Disneyland's a trap. Just you end up getting a burger because you're fucking starving. Next thing you know, the burger's $75. You know what I mean? And it's a terrible thing. I haven't done all the rides, but I mean,
it will separate you from your money for sure.
Yeah. So what's up, Noah?
Before you guys move on to the serious talk and start recapping and whatever, I actually wore the Pick Dundee shirt too. I didn't know we were twinning. Literally the same color. So
Bash
Colby,
Brothers.
I just needed to come in here and just say my joke. I think you would look better in orange. I'll get out of here.
Ooh, it's a Jeff Goodman joke. I do prefer John over Jeff. John Goodman. Prefer him over Jeff Goodman, but I have nothing against Jeff. I know the whole world's coming at him. I mean, hell, I never met the guy. I can't. Maybe he said something bad about the college experience, but if so, I didn't catch it. So we have two games that went final.
We're one of a couple of shows that devote ourselves to doing daily college basketball podcasts.
That is true. He did say the only college basketball podcast that goes live every night. I don't know if that was a subtle jab or he just is not aware that there's a show of drunken idiots talking college hoops nonstop.
That was definitely doing it every night first before him.
Yeah, way before him. I was going solo. I was flying solo by myself and then having Patty C and NC Nick on once or twice a week. But now we got a whole crew. We got a whole operation. Look at our fucking chat. You know what I mean? We got an army.
You mean Patty Ken Palm C?
Patty Ken Palm C, man. God bless Patty Ken Palm C. So 2 games have gone final. Look, these Crusaders and Dave Paulson, they've turned a corner. They have turned a corner. Holy Cross, 65. Boston, 63. Money line play here. And I have this as half my 2. Just need Texas money line to hit, and I'm making a shit ton of money tonight. They were down. They were down early. Crosstown battle. Almost fucked up a 6-point lead with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Maybe it was 7-point lead, but your thoughts on Holy Cross and the Crusaders just being dominant in basketball? They're on their way back to being where they should be. Your thoughts on them?
Dude, we needed that. And the way that they started the game, I was like, oh shit, here comes another Holy Cross dud. It was a good spot, but maybe they just suck ass. But no, they finished the first half on a big run. They got around 3-4. And then it felt like I was watching Wichita SMU from the other day. Boston's a more talented team, but the more and more you let the dog hang around and you start missing some shots, the favorite tightens up. And then all of a sudden, Holy Cross hit a couple threes and started believing, and then there they go. They almost blew it at the end too. So good win, Holy Cross. Way to make us geniuses.
Yes, I mean huge win. NC Nick, who'd you ride in this one? Little Boston battle,
crosstown battle. I was definitely with you guys. Holy Cross and the home dog. They've now won 3 out of 5, so they're playing much better ball. And like you guys, I thought it was a perfect spot in a crosstown shootout to take the points with the home team.
This is a perfect segue to our next thing, is that Dave Paulson struggled at George Mason, right? He's good when he's got these shit rosters where he can just make it work. Yeah. When he can sharpen some staples. All right. Yeah. Now it didn't work out at Mason because the A-10s, you need athleticism. You got to have a certain level of athleticism. Similar to what I see with Mike Young at Virginia Tech. I nailed this spot because I just think Virginia Tech's not a good team. I don't think they have anyone athletic on their team. Like they have a couple good basketball players, but they just don't have anybody. And Mac, before you signed in, me and Nick were talking about this, and Noah, we were saying that, you know, he's trying to do what he did at Wofford at Virginia Tech, and that's just not going to work. And I like Mike Young. I hope he, you know, makes $20 billion and buys his own fucking island. But I just think it's a fail, in my opinion. Like the approach he's using in Blacksburg, I don't think is sustainable. I think it's setting back the program. And I cashed with the Blue Devils just on sheer athleticism. I thought they would get it done. It is a lit environment. My only concern was like Cassell, they show up there, or Castle, whatever the fuck they call it. Your thoughts on this one, Mac?
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of the approach. They have too many staples, and throw Donahue in there as well. Remember when he went from Cornell to BC and he tried to fucking treat it like it was an Ivy League in the ACC, and he just got out athletes to death, and now he's back at Penn and he's good. I do agree. Virginia Tech missed some threes that they usually make, but like you said, Duke's athleticism probably bothered them. This was a great win for Duke, and I'll let the Duke expert talk here in a minute because they've really struggled in Virginia Tech at Blacksburg over the years, whether it was Mike Young, Seth Greenberg. So good win, Duke, and we get Tobacco Road on Saturday.
Yes, Nick, you are a Duke fan. Let the chat hate on you now, and
bring it on. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that Duke would win by 3, so you would have been so miserable that you bet Duke and they did not cover.
Yeah, and I would have been pissed too. So, but what are your thoughts on the game, man?
All right, so first off, you guys are right. I mean, we've been saying this about Mike Young for a couple of years now, where some people can really drive that Honda Accord, but they can't handle the vet, you know, and that's him now. He should probably go back to the mid-major level because they have no NBA talent. They definitely lack athleticism. And, you know, he is a good X's and O's coach, but you need, you know, the players too. And he hasn't been able to bring that caliber player into Blacksburg.
What's crazy is like when he got there, he had a couple guys. I think one transferred to A&M, followed
Radford.
Buzzsaw. Yeah, Radford. Jalen Cohn went to Northern Arizona. Now he's at Cal. The kid who went to UConn is now at St. John's. Actually, 2 guys went to UConn.
Aline.
Yeah. And to me, those guys were much more like, say what you want about, they weren't like huge contributors to the national championship team, but they played solid minutes, and they're athletic enough though. Like to me, that's the difference. It's like we were talking about this pre-episode. I was like, you watch like Dayton, or you watch, you know, I don't know, San Diego State. You're like, okay, they might have one pro, but their whole fucking team's athletic, right? You watch Virginia Tech, you're like, man, they got 2 shooters, 2 guys that I think are good college basketball players, but they don't have any athleticism.
Right.
How do you fuck that up? You're at a Power 5. You know what I mean? Like, how do you fuck that up? Like, that's the first thing I would say would be like, if I watched the practice, I'd be like, fuck, we got to get out on the road. We got to get some transfers. We got to bring in somebody that can jump, somebody that can be can hit the boards, can rebound, can block shots or something. Just more athletic, more length. I don't know. I mean, am I a fucking idiot over here, Mac?
Well, but here's the problem. If you do want to change from Mike Young, I don't think they're that bad though. Like they're 13-8, 5-5 in ACC play. Say they get hot a little bit here and finish 10-8. He's going to be back next year. It's just I don't think they can him unless they're 7-11 in ACC play and finish 500. So I think he's going to be back next year. I do agree they do need to get more athletic. It's kind of what fucking Porter Mosier in the Big 12 did his first 2 years, and then finally came around. Hey, I got to get more athletic in this league, or I'm just going to get my teeth kicked in.
Yeah,
I think he's made the NCAA tournament in 2 out of like 4 years. I don't have that in front of me, but
second and third year.
Yeah, right. So I mean that'll
the tourney run where they beat Duke at Krzyzewski's last year, right?
Yeah. So that'll, you know, at a place like Virginia Tech, I think that gives you a couple years. But you know, I think next year, if he misses out on the tournament for the 3rd year in a row, then I think the seat is getting very warm.
Yeah.
And he kind of won those with Buzz's players. Some of those guys stayed. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like to me, I know he brought in Kiva Luma, and that was probably the best get he's had.
Oh, the funny thing is that Aluma signed up with him at Wofford.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
he brought him over there.
Yeah, but at least he was like a real difference maker to me.
Yeah.
Like,
He was a baller.
Yeah, but anyway, Duke 77, Virginia Tech 67. How do you feel about your boys going into to the rivalry game, say Saturday? Where are you at right now? Because someone asked me about Duke. I was doing a radio spot, and they were asking me my opinions. I go, I kind of thought they'd be better by this point, but I also know they've had injuries.
Yes.
Is that a fair assessment?
That is a fair assessment. I thought they would be better too. I do think they still have a lot of room to grow and get better. Now, we're not sure if that's ever going to happen or not, but they can play much better ball. They have had injuries. The three sophomores have been up and down. I thought they would be more consistent. But if they can all get on the same page, get healthy, and start playing their best basketball come February, March, then they do have a pretty high ceiling. It remains to be seen if that ever comes together or not. But, ever since the two back-to-back road losses in late November, early December, they're 11-1. And their only loss was a game where Roach and who's it? The power forward. I'm drawing a blank on his name now. Mitchell. Yeah, Roach and Mitchell didn't play. So, I mean, everybody across the nation is losing games for the most part. So I think Duke's in a pretty good spot here.
Matt,
I have not forgiven you for losing that game, by the way, Nick. I don't care how many guys you were down. You never lose to those sorry motherfuckers.
I know, but that was a game where, Mac, you've been saying about Pitt all year long. If they go hot from beyond the arc, they can win. And they were hitting the most ridiculous threes. Hinton hit like 8 threes in that game. And all of them were covered too. None of them was open.
How great was
sometimes
the fuck
you just say, "Hey, man,
How great was his Ric Flair fuck you to the crowd? Even you had to appreciate that.
Of course. Hey, have some fun, man. You won a big game on the road where you were lights out, so you jump up and talk some shit. I got no problem with that.
Nick, I have a question for you since you're not going to be on the show throughout the week, at least not on the schedule currently. Always welcome whenever. But what are your thoughts going into the North Carolina game this weekend?
I think we're in a pretty good spot here. I keep on looking for UNC to have a bad game and slip up, and they haven't done it yet. We'll see what they do against Georgia Tech, but I would be surprised if Georgia Tech won that. So I expect it to be a great game. I don't expect Duke to lose by double digits. No, I'll make that bet with you right now if you want. I think it's gonna be a great game. So I'm ready for it, man. I'm pumped.
Hey, cut.com. Get over to cut.com, KUTT.com. Put your money where your fucking mouth is. Let's go.
Give me the Dukies on the money line. We always take the dog in this fucking game. This Carolina shit out of here.
Dog on the road? I don't know about that.
Hey, they won a Carolina last year as a dog at the end, right?
I feel like
Carolina wasn't very good.
Shire's undefeated against UNC.
True.
There you go.
I feel like a lot of the years the road team wins. Am I crazy for that? I feel like the road team wins a lot. More than most rivalries, I'll say. I don't know.
That's probably fair. Yeah. Maybe it's because it's only 8 miles down the road,
Yeah. Fair. Other games we got going on right now. 10-minute mark. The Howard Bison have a 12-point lead against Coppin State. I don't want to play the music yet. I'm not going to jinx this fucking bet, but we are on Howard -7.5. Myself, Mac, Bieniek's on that too, right?
Yeah, no? Bieniek, Rob, everybody's on Howard. Yeah. So come
terrifying,
on,
terrifying having a 12-point lead. It's still within reach.
Especially in the MEAC.
Norfolk State is up 11 on Morgan State. Nothing nowhere there. And then a lock battle right now. Delaware State has a 6-point lead against North Carolina Central at just under 7 minutes. So you might win a battle there. We're looking pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and play the music here. Jinx.
No.
I'm buying into this. Won't jinx it.
Which one?
Sela is up 20 on Houston Christian. We rode Sela. Houston Christian being favored for 3 straight games. What the fuck's going on here? Houston Christian, Sela's up 20 at the 3-minute mark. If we blow this game, cover points wise, I'll never do a show again. All right. Lamar is drilling New Orleans, so Bieniek might be shitting on us in a lock battle. And Florida A&M is up 10. What in the fuck is happening here?
Is this the right score? Are we sure this is the right score? Is it not
13?
Flipped?
They're up 13 now.
It's got to be flipped.
That's cooked. That's cooked. That's cooked. How's that possible? How's that even fucking I've watched Jackson State all year. They're a pretty good team. I thought if they got in the tournament, they could be a live 15 or 16 seed to win. I know me and Clark have had that conversation, but this is just uncalled for.
I know.
You're down 13 to maybe the worst, one of the bottom 5 teams in all of college basketball.
What? Maybe Mississippi Valley State wasn't so bad after all.
Other scores: South Carolina State's up 11 on Eastern Shore. We might have been foolish. Corpus Christi, who I did take, is up 9 on Commerce. McNeese is drilling Northwestern State. I did end up betting this when it went back to 21. That one, McNeese is up 19, so I'm gonna need a drink by my side besides this one. And then the other ones just got started. I mean, not worth noting. They're still in the first half. Actually, Mississippi Valley State's at halftime. They're down 20 to Southern at halftime. We don't need to talk, but let's just jump into tomorrow's slate. I mean, unless you want to add something on these games.
Did you say Houston's up 9 early?
Yeah, but it's like, what is it? Like 10 minutes left in the first, right? Or 8 minutes in the first.
Yeah, no, it's early.
Just feel like it could go a million ways from here. But the Cougs are off to a fast start there. Folks, we're going to get to tomorrow's beautiful slate. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Look, Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. They got NFL, NBA, NHL, college football, and college basketball. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. You can win 100 times the amount of money you enter with some of their spicy plays. So what are you doing, folks? Hop on over there. All right. And when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Once again, that's Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. Noah, what are we looking at here?
All right, so I'm going to take you to the Egg Bowl on the hardwood here between Mississippi State and Ole Miss. I'm going to take you to Bulldogs freshman guard Josh Hubbard. It kind of looks like he's hit the freshman wall here in January-ish. I'm going to take the lower than 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists stat combo. 9-2 in his last 11 games, 6-2 in SEC play. And again, this is a Chris Beard Ole Miss team. Lockdown defense. I expect those guards to lock up the perimeter and shut down his scoring. So I think he comes in under lower than 20.5 PRA here for the stat combo.
There we go, folks. Hop on over to Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code TCESGPN. 100% deposit bonus. And if you sign up, take a screenshot of you signing up. DM me on Twitter. Show me that screenshot at the Colby D. And we'll send you a college basketball experience t-shirt. Brand new. All right. Perfect for you. All right, let's get a look. GBO Farms, you're right, because I do have Texas on the second end of that parlay, but I mean, it's so early. It's so early. You know what I mean?
8-point game in the first half.
So early. Don't do this to me here.
They're not getting blown out, everybody.
Just hit a 3. Yep. Relax.
Yeah. Yes. Let's go.
Hey, by the way, Tuesday's the best slate ever.
Tuesday is beautiful. It is beautiful. And look, Johnny Dang.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
just
Colby,
said
Johnny
you're
Dang.
mad the fact that you made a video YouTube short.
He's upset about your 0-3 YouTube shorts.
Yeah, I am doing horrible on those, but we still triple lock this fucking thing. I mean, the line did stink. Maybe it's my fault.
All of us were on this one.
Yeah. And look, if you think that's going to stop me, you're fucking crazy. If I go, I could be 0-100 and I'd still release those fucking videos. All right, let's go.
You could always bet the other side too, Johnny.
Yeah. That if you're real sharp and you think this Dundee guy's a drunken idiot, which a lot of my life I am, why not just bet the other side every time in cash? And thank me later. You know what I mean? So let's go. Appreciate you, Johnny. I see you. I still love you, man. What isn't that? That's a line from Something About Mary. I love you, man. Yeah, dude. I appreciate you, man.
Sharon Moore,
you.
right up there. That alley too.
Yeah. That's just Sharon Moore, who's now Michigan's new head coach. Expect a new episode talking about that on the College Football Experience tomorrow. First game on the slate, guys. Unfortunately, no daytime college basketball. Still a huge fail. And I hope you liked Max music, I will, crowbar that in at any time. Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. And I did.
It's truly the test episode, whether we get copyrighted or not here.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. I thought you were saying fan
debut episode. We'll see at the end of the night.
I thought you were saying test this if the fans like it. And I was like, they're gonna have to get used to it because I'm gonna hammer this fucking thing.
Yeah, it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
He's gonna shove that shit on the wall. That way it does stick.
This is not a democracy. All right. Look, I also added this one. I know we're not talking about East Carolina, but every time East Carolina wins now, not only are you gonna hear you don't go to East Carolina with the weak heart and the great theme song, but you now have. And may the Schwartz spirit Oh man, Space Funk.
It's a good thing we won't have to hear it too often now.
Ooh. How's NC State doing?
Nick, even if they are losing, he plays it for them every game.
That's
you got to crowbar it in. I mean, they're the greatest. They're the greatest. And they did.
I did not root for NC State basketball. Okay.
All I'm saying is you're there in Raleigh. All right. These cowards, these I call them the Pussy Pack now. That's their new name, the Pussy Pack.
I do like that. That's
Colby works by guilty by association.
That's true.
So Nick, living in Raleigh,
I get it.
Guilty.
I root for them a little bit on the football field, so I can see why. It's confusing.
I've been to your fucking house. Your neighbors hang their fucking flags of NC State. You're at barbecues with the enemy.
True.
You know what I mean? You're at
I live in
barbecues
Raleigh
with the enemy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't do that. You gotta put a fence up around that shit.
I'd rather live in Raleigh than Greenville. Okay, I think most people would agree with me, unless you're a 20-year-old boy.
You are making big mistakes.
You think over Colby's pissing on your fucking neighbor's fucking yard. Fucking, it's got an NC State flag.
Greenville, folks, go to Greenville, North Carolina. One of the sweeter spots on the planet. Game 1. South Carolina heads into Knoxville. 17-3. South Carolina, Lamont, Paris, relax. And they also get guard Miles Stute back. He was injured. Tennessee's laying 13.5. And as much as I have been a South Carolina fan here, and I was high on them in the preseason, I'm going to milk that fucking thing all year. I think it's a bad spot for him. I am laying the 13.5 with Rick Barnes in Tennessee. Tennessee just, to me, I think they're going to know South Carolina's has a better record than them. I know that they don't have the ranking for some strange reason, but I think they're going to focus on this game and say, hey, and lay it on them. I am laying the 13.5. Mac, what are you doing here? Tennessee's 10-0 at home for a reason. They're fire at home.
Yeah. And when they're at home, they don't win close games. It's always just a fucking avalanche beatdown. They beat Bama by 20, Florida by 20, Ole Miss by fucking 30. And I'm not locking this just because I hate South Carolina. I'm locking this because this is a Tennessee. The line's telling you. And when you get a new guy back and you've been rolling, sometimes it takes a game to mesh. Give me the Vols. Lock it up. They own South Carolina too. They fucking hate South Carolina. Give me the Vols. Rocky Top. UBL Farm.
I don't know about a lock, but I mean, I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good.
They cover every time in this spot. They win by 20 in all these games.
Yeah. And by the way, I saw the chat saying they see 15. I see a little bit of everything. You can get 13.5. You can get 14. You can get 14.5. You can get 15 right now. NC Nick, what are you doing here with your boy Rick Barnes?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Pretty much everything you just said. There are 3 SEC home games right now. It have been a 26-point win, a 19-point win, and a 20-point win. And last year, granted, the South Carolina team's a lot different than last year. But last year in Knoxville, this game was 85-45, a 40-point win. So Tennessee at home, you got to ride them.
Shout out to GBO Farms who gave us 20 greenbacks, and he says, here's to NC Nick buying a French fry side at Disney World on the next vacation. Pick up some winners, boys.
I found a spot that had $11 Sierra Nevadas, and I was like, man, this is a win here.
This is a bargain.
I know. I swear. That's like LA dive bar pricing.
Yeah, 100%. That's cheap. That is cheap right there. Yeah. And is this a lock for you, Nick?
I think I'm going to hold off locking because I do think South Carolina is solid. I mean, their top 5 leading scorers are all upperclassmen. So You like the older players when it comes on the road. I think Tennessee wins this. I think they cover, but I'm not going to bet it.
All righty. The Akron Zips are heading into Ypsilanti, Michigan. They're laying 10.5. Coming off that loss. I mean, I will go here. Give me the Zips minus 10.5 to drill Eastern Michigan. No one goes these fucking games. All right. And Eastern Michigan just won a lock battle for me against Buffalo. I know my Eagles. All right. I know when they're soaring and I know when they're heading down. Zips are a good play here. Jump on it, guys. All right. Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm going to take the Zips, but I got a couple other Mac ones I like better.
Okay. Nick? Did we lose it?
I'm back.
Oh.
All right. No, I do think Akron is probably the class of the MAC, but they have not been that impressive on the road. I'm going to take them here, especially coming off the loss, but I'm not going to bet it.
North Carolina is heading into Atlanta, Georgia. Has this line really came down this much since this morning? Wow. This line's came down 1.5 since this morning. North Carolina's laying 9.5 in Atlanta. Give me Georgia Tech. It's a look ahead spot. Now, obviously, I liked it a lot better at 11.5. I think they stay in this game. They get up for these big teams. They suck against the shitty teams, but they hang in there and cover this. Maybe even win it. But Carolina wins by 4 or 5, or maybe they storm the court. But we're covering. What are we doing here, Mac?
Oh, you know me. I'm the Tar Heel hater this year. They're really good, man, but this is the spot of spots for Georgia Tech. Double road trip. They got Duke on deck. Georgia Tech's going to hang in here. Carolina probably finds a way to win just because they're old and they keep finding ways to win. But lock up Georgia Tech. They get up for these games. They beat Duke there too.
Buzz, buzz, sting, sting. Let's fucking go. Ramblin' Wreck. NC Nick, your arch rivals. You have a good time to triple lock them if you wanted to.
No, I'm not going to.
I knew he wouldn't.
No, and I don't want Georgia Tech to win this game because then that'll be, UNC will be that much more focused come Saturday. I do like Georgia Tech in spots this year, but they're really young. I mean, their freshman point guard, George, I think is really good, but he's really young. Freshman, big guy, Ndongo. So I like them in spots, but in this game here, going up against a really strong UNC defense, I think they're going to struggle. I'm going to take the Tar Heels and lay the points.
And how was it, by the way, watching that intense Duke Clemson game while you were probably, on the Pirates of Caribbean ride? You're probably sitting there in the line and you're just like, whoa, did we win? Yeah.
I was back at the Airbnb watching that. No, that was actually on Saturday. So I was back at home watching that game. And yes, it was a foul. And props for Tyrese Proctor for stepping up and knocking down two big ones.
I thought it was a foul too. I'll say this. I thought it was, that happens there. It happens in Kansas. There's advantages to playing at home.
They get the blue blood handicap. We all know what goes on.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of schools get that.
And anybody that's not happy about that, then will become a blue blood.
Yeah.
Duke wasn't always a blue blood.
That's true.
Coach K used to be the best player.
Yeah.
Coach K used to complain that Dean Smith got all the whistles.
Yeah.
Hey Nick, I would feel pretty good about Saturday if I were you, because everybody is saying Carolina's going to fuck Duke up.
I like our spot. I'm not going to say it's going to be. Obviously, it's going to be very tough. It should be a great game. But I like coming in kind of under the radar. Perfect.
Coming in under the radar this season was the Western Michigan Broncos, because I know they lost to Central in a rivalry game, and I know NC Nick's dead by that, because as a guy that supports their basketball program, NC Nick donated to their NIL collective, went to a game last year. They've had a good season though. 8-12, despite losing to Central. Right now is a good season. They're getting 12.5 in Toledo, Ohio at the Savage Arena. And I will jump on this one too, because what is Toledo coming off of? Oh, the battle of the I-75. letdown spot for the Rockets. I think Toledo wins by 6, 4, 7, something like that. Give me the Broncos. Fuck them. Mac?
I'm going to take the Broncos here, but man, Toledo has a habit of drilling teams in this league. So I will just take the Broncos. I'll stay off a lock here though.
NC Nick?
Actually, I think Toledo was kind of playing with their food for a while.
I agree with Nick.
Well, hear me out the whole thing first, and you might not agree with me. They were doing that for a while, but their last 2 games is 2 straight double-digit wins. Maybe they're figuring how to really put away teams. So I'm going to lay the points with Toledo.
Wow. I can't wait to talk shit.
I don't agree with Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bieniek came in here hot.
Bowling Green is at Ball State. 2 of my darlings this year going head to head.
I know it.
Bowling Green's laying 1.5. Ball State's good at home. Historically. I know this year they haven't been as good, but it's a brand new team. Give me Ball State to win this one, but I'm not betting this game. Mac?
Yeah, I'm on Ball State. I'm with you. I think they're the better team. Bowling Green, a little bit of regression finally.
Nick, what are you doing here in Muncie?
I'd argue I think Bowling Green might be the slightly better team. And since they've lost 2 in a row coming into this, I think they need it more. Maybe they're hungry, or maybe they're due for a win. Give me Bowling Green.
Whew. Noah, I see you're here.
I will acknowledge Nick's point here. They've played Kent State and Toledo back to back. They took Kent State to overtime. They got blown out in their rivalry game against Toledo. They're still on a back-to-back road off of that rivalry game in Muncie. I'm with Colby, though. I like Ball State here. Cocktail Napkin says the wrong team's favored. Where do you pick this game at, Colby? Because I see +1.5 out there for Ball State.
Really? Well, take it if you're doing that. I mean,
I'm locking
the lines.
up.
We're at 6:50 Pacific time right now, so these lines are
9:55 East.
These lines are bouncing the fuck around. I mean, like I said, Georgia Tech was. I did a show. What?
Georgia Tech was like
6 hours ago. 6 hours ago it was at 11.5, 12. So and then this Carolina Tennessee one also the line is jumping up and down.
So play me some music for the Cards. Let's lock it up. They get the win outright at home in Muncie.
Noah Bieniek locking up the Ball State Cardinals. The Marquette Very Golden Eagles. Well, they're heading to Pennsylvania. Take on Villanova. Could we see another ranked team hit the road and lose? Villanova is, wow, this line has come across 0 now. Villanova is now laying 1.5. They were getting 1.5 this morning. Look, that tells me everything. Here's the logic here is that we know Marquette, nice win the other day, but they are a little dinged up. They got their bench a little short, and they are 3-3 on the road this year and should be 2-4 because of St. John's bullshit. And they head to Philly, and Villanova is in the most desperate spot maybe of any team in the Big East. This is their season here to me.
Yeah.
And that is why we hammer the Wildcats. Let's go. What are you doing here, Mac?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like you said, Villanova's lost 4 in a row. They got to start winning some fucking games or they're going to be going to the NIT. And they just played Marquette a couple weeks ago, got away late. They were in the game. I love Nova here. Desperate spot. Give me Villanova. Let's go. Knock it up.
Boom. Are we talking about a potential triple lock, NC?
We are. We are
There we
talking
go.
about a potential triple lock. Not potential. It is a triple lock.
There we fucking go. Wildcats -1.5 against Marquette. Triple lock.
I mean, you mentioned the 4-game losing streak. Well, 3 of those games were on the road. The one home game they lost by 1 point to UConn. So coming back home here, definitely a get right spot.
Texas Tech is heading into Fort Worth, Texas. TCU is laying 5.5. Both these teams, it's not often you have multiple road wins on the same day. in really two spots where they're kind of mirror images of one another. TCU was down 6 to Baylor, I feel like, at the 2-minute mark, maybe somewhere right around there. Texas Tech, I think, was down 7 at the 2-minute mark, and they both won the games on the road.
I know.
Texas Tech, number 20 in the nation, coming into Fort Worth. TCU does have Texas on deck, but I don't care. Texas Tech's currently first place in the Big 12, and that means something. I'm all over.
Time for a loss.
Yeah, I'm all over TCU -5.5, and I can't be swayed into a lock here. Your thoughts on this one, Mac?
Yeah, I already gave this one away on the Big 12 show. Scheduled loss for Texas Tech here. Back-to-back road spot after the emotional Oklahoma win. The athleticism of TCU, man, on that rubber court, that fucked up rubber court I always like to talk about. Give me TCU, lock it up. Love it. Love the spot here.
I mean, the locks are flying off the shelves today, folks. I'm with you. Let's go. NC triple lock the Frogs. What's their fucking sign? They do some shit like this. Is there a Hypnotoads down sign? I don't know. Anyway, we got to work on that one. But triple lock with the Horned Frogs. Let's go.
I will say I like to have 4.5 when it opened better. I mean, like, what point do you not feel comfortable with that?
I don't know that I go much higher than 5.5.
I was gonna say, yeah, because I do think it's gonna be close.
The game a couple weeks ago against Oklahoma, when Oklahoma was undefeated coming in there and they pulled away and won by 9 or 11. That's the kind of game I feel. So I'm with you. Once it gets past like 6.5, no thank you.
Yeah. Folks, stay put. We're going to talk about the rest of these games. But before we do that, I want to tell you the college basketball experience is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S. based and available in 40 different states. Remember Nick and Noah were talking there. Noah's like, I'm going to lay double digits with North Carolina against Duke. Perfect opportunity to meet on Cut and do some battle head to head because Cut's fantastic for that. P2P social betting is a new and better way to bet. You can bet directly against your friends or co-hosts or, other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes. Plus, there's a ton of fun social features that give it a feel of a betting social network, so to speak. And Cut offers lower vig and fully customizable odds. You can create your own bets, all that good stuff. And Cut handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase down old Billy Bob in the streets. So what are you doing, folks? Get on over there, all right? Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL postseason with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Trust me, these analytics aren't going to fail you like they did the Detroit Lions. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. So stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. And last but not least, we're brought to you by the SGPN merch store. 15% off everything in the store from now to the end of the month. That's 2 more days, folks. With the promo code PLAYOFFS. And we are competing against other shows. So come on, ride for the brand. Let's go. Get on over there. SGPN merch store. Promo code PLAYOFFS. All right. We are back on the college basketball experience. And Travis Lexington Steele is heading to Kent, Ohio. Kent State's laying 8.5. I'm going to lay the 8.5. Mac, what are you doing here?
I think this is fringe lock. This is one I was talking about. Kent's off that loss at home against Ohio on Friday. Miami of Ohio's off that fucking big time win against Akron. You look at the standings that we talk about with Kent. We think they're better than their record. They're 3-5. I'm going to lay it and lock it. Give me Kent State here. Action, baby.
I might bet this too. You know what?
It's a good spot. Good bounce back.
I don't know. Check the picks page. I might bet this one too. Nick, what are you doing here?
I agree. Situationally speaking, I think it is a good spot for Kent State, but I think you guys are crazy if you bet it because I don't trust the Golden Flashes this year.
I think Miami, Ohio is terrible though. I know they just beat Akron, but I'm saying I don't think they're a very good basketball team.
Agreed.
They get up every once in a while and fuck up someone decent, and then they go back to being shit. That's the way that I've seen them this year. But I might jump on that. Syracuse is heading to Chestnut Hill to take on Boston College. This line's going up. Boston College is now laying 5.5. Man.
Whoa.
I was on BC. I was tempted to take BC when I saw the line first open up this morning. Then it went up right when I did the SGP show. So I took Q's, I think plus 4.5. Now at 5.5, I'm still taking Q's, obviously. But what am I missing here? Why does this line keep going up? Mac, what are you doing here?
I don't think Syracuse is good on the road, and BC.
Is this the road though? They could have more fans here, maybe.
They could. I'll lay it with BC, but I'm not gonna lock BC with at this big a number.
Nick?
Yeah, about 4 p.m. Eastern time, it was -3. And I mean, this was really a coin flip, 50-50 game. I do think Boston College is solid at home. So at 3, I laid the points. But if you're telling me it's 5.5, I think I'm going to switch that and take it with Syracuse. But again, I think you're crazy if you're betting this game.
Jackson State just lost to Florida A&M.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. Delaware State just fucking gave up an 8-point lead with like 4 minutes. Central's going to win. Oh my god!
That makes up for me.
There we go.
Yeah,
that is fucking
Lavelle Moten getting it done.
Finds a way.
Delaware State, they just can't beat Central, man. They just can't. It's mental, man. It's mental.
There's so much
lock battle win for Dundee and Noah against Moneyline
It's not final yet. I don't know if that one's final.
No,
yet.
it's final. It's final.
It's final. 3 with 3 seconds. Yeah.
There you go. Man, but Jackson State killing me, and then Northwestern State killing me too.
Good stuff.
Howard hit for us too, though. The Bison did that. That's done. They hit for us. Sorry. Back to the action. VCU's heading to St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure's laying 4.5 points. This line went up a point. I love this spot for the Bonnies. VCU has Richmond on deck. Those are the top 2 teams, or top 2 of the top 3 teams in the 8-10 right now. The Bonnies are also a completely different team at home, I feel like. Bonnies on the road, I'm always nervous. Bonnies in O'Reilly Auto Parts Center. If you want me to take a shit in a box and label it guaranteed, I'll do it by saying VCU's a guaranteed loss. All right? Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, make it at 2 of us. VCU's rolling 1-5 in a row, but the Bonnies have fucking owned them over the course of time. Give me the Bonnies in upstate New York to lock it up.
Boom. Do we potentially, are we in unison here, NC Nick? What are you doing in Bonaventure, New York?
One stat to back up what you were saying. The last 2 home games, the Bonaventure has scored 90 plus each game. The last 2 road games, they've scored 60 or less. So, I mean, they are a totally different team at home. My only fear is that they've already beat VCU at VCU this month. So I don't know. I'm not gonna bet this. I agree. Bonaventure at home is the way to go here, but it wouldn't surprise me if VCU sneaks one out.
Wow.
I think in general, when you have 2 pretty equal teams and the first matchup, one team loses, I usually jump on that team for the revenge spot.
We'll see. They're just due. They're due for a loss.
I think they just have their number, man. They own them for some reason.
Yeah. Illinois is traveling to Columbus, Ohio. This line's surprisingly pretty short. Chris Holtmann still employed somehow. Ohio State's catching 2.5 plus 130 on the money line. I will take that. I think they're going to win. However, this is not a lock because Ohio State has been a mystery to me this year. Maybe I could be talked into it. Mac, what are you doing here?
Remember last year when we kept saying Ohio State was due, and then they finally got it done. It was against Illinois. Give me the Buckeyes, lock it up. They're going to win this game. Illinois is a little overvalued right now. I like the Buckeyes at a desperate spot at home once again.
Moneyline Mac locking up the Buckeyes. I don't know. Check this is a picks page lock for you. Nick, what are you doing here?
You know what? I'm kind of itching for a lock battle here. I just think the Buckeyes aren't very good, and they're not coached very well. And I think especially with Terrence Shannon back, the Illini are simply the better team. They've proven themselves pretty well the last 2 road trips, whipping Michigan and taking Northwestern to overtime before losing. I'm going to go the Illini, and you know what? I wasn't going to bet this, but I've talked myself into it. Let's go Fighting Illini.
I'll talk you into this even more, NC Nick.
All right.
Honestly, my argument is I don't think Illinois is overrated. I think they're underrated because they did add Terrence Shannon Jr. and they played 5 games without him. Ohio State in their last 6 have lost 5 of them. I think they've given up on the season once again on Holtmann, like they did last year. We kept saying they're coming around. Then they tease you in the Big Ten tournament, and they fall flat on their face again. This team, the program is just not there. They've flatlined the last 2 seasons in Big Ten conference play. You see the hat on my head? It's not because it's because I'm spitting facts and they don't like it.
They're better without Shannon.
I got Noah in my corner. Mac, do you have Colby in your corner? Colby, you coming along here?
Let's do some battle.
Illinois out of here. They're overrated.
But I got something for you here.
I just explained to you
better without Shannon.
Their best player just came back. You can't tell me they're better without him.
They won every game without him.
They didn't play. They played fair dick without him.
No, that was one game. They beat.
Is this the first tag team lock battle?
Yeah.
This season for sure.
I like it.
Yes.
You got the
Where the fuck is my music?
Dude, Mac, they're only lost.
The other.
Mac, they lost to Purdue without him.
At home on Saturday.
Mac, they lost to Purdue without him. So that's not true.
No, that doesn't count.
Why doesn't that count?
We got a lock battle. Dundee, Mac, saying go Bucks. NC Nick, Bieniek. Back in the Illini.
You also want a loss that counts? They lost to Maryland at home without TJ Shannon. Now tell me they're better without him.
They're better without him. Good. They almost lost to Indiana the other day, who's terrible.
Speaking of Indiana, they're getting 1.5 against Iowa in Assembly Hall. I'll take that 1.5, by the way. Reeks a little bit, doesn't it?
Iowa's been owning this series. I was looking back at it. I think they've won like 4 or 5 in a row. I feel like this Indiana bounced back, even though they are terrible.
Yeah, NC Nick, what are you doing here at Assembly Hall?
I think the line movement is maybe indicating that Ware's not going to play again. And if he was in the lineup, I'd like Indiana here because I usually fade Iowa on the road, even though they've won a couple away from Iowa City recently, which maybe means they're even due for a road loss. I'm going to pick Indiana, but I'm not going to bet it.
But you know when you got Rob Donaldson saying I hate Iowa as an Iowa fan.
I may bet Indiana tomorrow.
I mean, that's tough.
Iowa's coming off a win too. They don't seem like the team that can win back-to-back road games.
They have won back-to-back road games against Minnesota and Michigan. So
they're playing. Sorry, against Michigan. Yeah.
The George Washington Colonials. The George Washington Colonials are heading into UD Arena to take on the Dayton Flyers. Dayton's laying 12.5. I can't do it. Give me G-Dub plus 12.5. It's just too many points. It's too many points.
Yeah.
I want to fade them. Mac, what are you doing here? I almost lock potential with this many points. I thought it'd be like 8.5. 12.5.
I'll lay it. I'm with you. I'll lay Dayton.
No, I'm taking.
No, he took the point.
Colby, I thought you said it's so many points, and that's why you're going to lay it. I'm going to lay it.
Colby, do you not think the line's telling you that this is just a clear Dayton bounce back spot after Richmond just stormed the court against them? George Washington going into UD Arena, I think they get their doors blown off of them tomorrow. This is
kind of like that St. Louis game from a couple weeks ago. I guess if Colby's thinking of something similar line, but I kind of agree with Noah and Mac here. You know. GW just lost at home by 10 to LaSalle. I can't back them on the road in Dayton now.
Give me the Colonials. They cover. Dayton wins by 10.
I'm locking this for the Flyers.
Woo, wow. There you go. I like it.
Noah Bieniek, a.k.a. Radio Flyer. All right? Just getting over there. Fly on. Northern Illinois is catching 4.5 at Central Michigan. Red hot Central Michigan.
No, I think we should.
No. Central Michigan, folks, has won 6 of 7 games. 6 of their last 7 games. Who the fuck are the Chips and what are they doing right now? I'm laying it though. I think they're going to lose the next game. Northern Illinois is terrible. I can't.
This line
take
stinks.
That.
This line
does.
Stinks.
I'm telling you, Northern Illinois is going to win.
I can't do it. I'm not touching this game.
Especially on the road. I can't do it either.
Yeah.
Patty C here, dive into the stink. I'll take Central Michigan.
I have not taken Northern Illinois during this losing streak, and I usually buy low. This is as low as it gets. Central Michigan's coming off the rivalry win. Give me NIU to finally get a road win, finally get a league win. NIU, lock it up. Let's go. This is the one. This is the one.
What is NIU's record since December 15th? I would love to know.
Like 1-8, and their only win is against who is it against?
It's against.
Isn't it a non-D1?
Yeah, it's against CCSG, the Crimson Wave, whoever that is.
They're winning tomorrow. I haven't. As much as we like Detroit and who's the other team? Detroit and Buffalo. NIU's been worse than all of them. They haven't covered since fucking Christmas.
And they're taking on the hottest team in the MAC. Good luck.
They're looking
on the road.
And the line's only 4?
Still.
The
4.5. 4.5. Butler. I'm sorry, Butler. What am I talking about? Buffalo. The Blue Bulls. The Blue Bulls are heading into Athens, Ohio, where the Bobcats are laying 13.5. Ohio coming off that big win for MAC in that lock battle against Kent State. Lay it. I can't take Buffalo. What are you doing here, Mac? You going with your boys?
I'm going to take them, but Northern Illinois is going to take their place on my gross MAC lock for the night. No Buffalo for me tomorrow night.
NC Nick, what are you doing here in Athens?
Yeah, I wish this game was at like 10 or 10.5. I'd feel a lot better about the Bobcats, but I'm not going to take Buffalo on the road. So again, just like 2 weeks ago, I feel like I'm on a lot of MAC favorites, and that didn't treat me too well last time, but I'm back on it again. Lay the points.
Illinois State is heading into Murray, Kentucky to take on the Racers of Murray State. Murray State's laying 7.5. Murray State broke our hearts the other night. They blew a 20-point lead against Southern Illinois. And lost outright. They have lost 3 straight. 3 straight is Illinois State. I mean, why are they a 7.5 point favorite? I feel like it's a little steep. I'm on Murray State though. I think they bounce back. They had a 20-point lead in that game. They fix it. They win by 9. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm with you. I laid it with Murray, but I'm not going to bet it.
Nick?
I disagree, guys. I'm going to take the points. I mean, Illinois State has, a win over Belmont, a win at Missouri State just within the last couple of weeks. I think they're a solid team. I think they can cover this. Close game.
Yeah. I don't know. No bet. Rob's going in. Just live bet Mississippi Valley State plus 30.5. There we go.
Don't do it.
Delta Devil for life. St. Louis is catching 9.5 at Loyola Chicago. Man, I'm taking the points. I think this number's off. I think we should lock St. Louis, but I've been burned by Ford a couple times this year. I think this number is too much. Loyola doesn't score a ton of points. I could be talked into a lock. What are you doing here?
Loyola's off a loss. If they were rolling, I would have done it. I'll take the Billikens, but man, have they quit on Travis Ford?
Maybe
possible.
Yeah,
I think
still
they
too many points though.
Yeah, I do agree. I'll take the points, but I can't bet him right now.
Christopher Moore in the chat says, Colby, you need to change the scenery for your pick of the day video to break the loose. 0-3 on the pick stack, and I am gonna have to switch it up. I'm gonna have to go
do it from like a gutter.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm on St. Louis. Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's too many points. I mean, Loyola's largest win this month was only by 7 points, and that was against St. Louis in St. Louis. So again, this is the second matchup of the year. I think it's too many points. Give me those Billikens.
Yeah. Oklahoma. This is a desperation game here. Oklahoma's lost? Is it 2 or 3 in a row?
2 in a row. Both have lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, K-State's lost 2 in a row. Yeah, at the Little Apple there in Manhattan, Kansas. K-State's only laying 2.5. I lean K-State here, but I kind of think this is spot on as far as like the number. It's what I would set it at, something like that. Give me K-State. The building is all the difference. They win by 4. Mac?
K-State lock it up. I'm not fading Tang at home. I mean, he's lost one game to Texas's loaded team last year where they blew a 15-point lead in Big 12 play in his tenure. Give me Jerome Tang in a desperate spot. Lock it up. I don't trust Porter Moser in Big 12. He shits the bed every time.
I might join you on that.
I completely agree. I'm with you. I think it's very simple. You fade K-State on the road. You take them at home.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
There we go, folks. Triple lock. The Wildcats. Can I interest us in a Villanova, Kansas State little special Wildcat parlay?
Real quick.
What's up?
Somebody was saying we bet on Ohio State. They've quit. They have not quit yet. They lost 2 road games compared to St. Louis, who's completely laid down. Ohio State just beat Penn State by like 10 days ago.
Yeah. This is the game I want to. This is one of the games I want to watch most, if not the game. Chris Jans against Chris Beard. Oh, it's Big Ten West baby. Football on the hardwood. All right, just 2 great defenses, bad shooting everywhere, great block shots, great rebounding, great box outs. Mississippi State is catching 2.5 in Oxford. Well, I think Hail State's winning this. Both coming off huge wins. Mississippi State beat Auburn in Stark Vegas. Ole Miss hit the road to A&M, knocked down the Buzzsaw. I got Hail State winning a rock fight. Give me Chris Jans and the Bulldogs to win this thing. I love getting the 2.5 too because I think it's going to be a 1 or 2 possession game. Mac, what are you doing here?
Damn, I locked this at 1 when it opened for Ole Miss. I'm not fading Chris Beard and that team at home. That place is rocking, and I don't trust Hail State on the road. Give me Ole Miss. I'll stay with it. Give me Chris Beard. Lock it up. Woo. I'm sticking with you, Brad.
Tempted to do battle. This isn't a normal road game. This is right up the road.
I know, but this is Chris Beard, man.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
No, I completely agree with Mac. I mean, Ole Miss is undefeated at home this year. Some solid wins over North Carolina State.
Solid
Memphis,
1-point win over Detroit.
Arkansas. Hey, it's a W. And Mississippi State hasn't won a game on the road yet. I think this line is too low. I also locked it up, I think, at 1.5. But still at 2.5, I'll go with Ole Miss. I'll lock it up also.
I'm gonna contest that. Just because Rutgers didn't play at the Rack and they played in Newark, that's a fucking road game. Mississippi State went to Newark and beat Rutgers. That counts as a fucking road game. Come on, right?
It's a half a road game.
That's like playing their half brother. Those two are exactly the fucking Ole Miss, man. That place is lit.
Nah, it's a letdown spot after the A&M game.
You've been late to come around on them, haven't you, Dundee?
But Mississippi State's off Auburn.
Chris Jans, almost underrated, one of the more underrated coaches in America. He's going to get it done. He's going to lock them down.
First 1 to 50 wins. I agree with you there.
You ready for a classic? This one needs to be on at 8 a.m. Pacific time. SEMO, Southeast Missouri State's heading to St. Louis, or no, what is it? St. Charles, is it? St. Charles. Take on Lindenwood Penitentiary. Both teams complete ass 7-14. And if you dive into those 7 wins, very phony wins to even make it propped up to be 7-14. Lindenwood's laying 2.5. Lindenwood won by 6 the last time they played. You don't just go into the Lion's Den. You know what I mean? And eat. You're just not going to do that. So give me these Lindenwood Lions minus 2.5. If you bet this, I love you. All right. What are you doing here, Mac?
I took Lindenwood, but I ain't touching this fucking game.
NC Nick?
What's it saying? It's tough for a bad team to beat another bad team twice. give me Seams or that team.
SEMO,
whatever the fuck they're called.
The Louisville Cardinals catching 16.5 at Clemson. Lay it. Clemson, they feel robbed from the other night. I think they put it on the Louisville Cardinals, but I don't love this game, but I'm laying it with Clemson. Mac?
I went back and forth on this one. I actually took Louisville just because they got somewhat embarrassed, or not somewhat. They got completely embarrassed, but I'm not betting Louisville for a while.
Nick?
Yeah, I just can't lay that many points with Clemson in a conference game, so I'm on Louisville too.
Oklahoma State, this line's gone up. It's catching 15.5 at the Fog, taking on Kansas off a tough loss in Ames. Still too many points. Give me Oklahoma State to cover this. Kansas wins by 13. Mac?
Agreed. I just don't think Kansas has that killer in them yet. I think they're getting there. I thought they got better. I thought they played well on Saturday in Ames. Iowa State just could not fucking miss from 3. They got Houston on deck for probably the league. So give me Oklahoma State to lose by 10-12. I'll take Jayhawks to win though.
Well, they did kill the Pokes in Stillwater a couple weeks ago, and I think they'll do it again. And I think it's not really a look-ahead spot because they're coming off a loss. So I'll lay it with the Jayhawks.
We've already been saying that Will Wade's the next coach of the Pokes. What do you think about that, NC Nick?
That would be
I think it's a good match. It's a good fit.
Boone Pickens money, baby.
Musselman goes to Louisville. Noah's calling for Bobby Hurley to DePaul, or to RuPaul. Anyway, speaking of RuPaul, the RuPaul Blue Balls are home to Seton Hall. Seton Hall's laying 10.5. I would imagine if Kadari Richmond missed the Marquette game, why play him this game?
A part of me wants to bet on Seton Hall. They haven't covered in like 4 games, and DePaul's covered in 3 in a row. They've played out of their minds since the coaching change. Is this the one that they finally just lay down and get beat by 25?
I don't know. Seton Hall's not the type of team to win by like 30, though, to me.
True.
Well, last year they only beat DePaul by 5 at home and 4 on the road. But that's last year. I'm going to go Seton Hall since they have lost 3 in a row. Maybe Richmond's back. I think they can cover this.
I'll lay it too, but I don't love it. I think it's right around that number. Yeah. San Jose State is catching 13.5 in Logan, taking on 18-2 Utah State. 18-2 Utah State went out and hired a brand new coach and lost every player on their roster, and they're fucking 18-2. One of the more unbelievable things I've ever seen in college basketball. And I also think I think Sparty is in for a bad loss here. I just think this place. I know Utah State won in overtime in Boise. I know they have San Diego State on deck. I just think this place gets lit. I just think like San Jose plays in front of San Jose. There's like 12 people. You know what I mean? It's like you go to this environment, you're not prepared for this. I'm laying the 13.5 with the Aggies. Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm on the points. This is fringe lock for me. This is a terrible spot for Utah State. I think they're due for. I don't think they're as good as their record. I know that place is hard to play at, but San Jose State, they're 1-6. But I think they're better than their record.
They are better than their record. They are. I just think
this could be the sleep spot.
San Jose State. They haven't really played at a lit environment yet. That was my handicap when I went back and looked. I mean, you have to go to the non-con back on November 12th at Texas Tech, right?
14, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they didn't really get the gauntlet of they haven't played at the Pit yet. They haven't played at San Diego State yet. They haven't played at Boise. So I just think they're not going to be prepared for this. That's my handicap. Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I just don't want to pick against Utah State in that building, especially with the team that has a road loss to Cal Poly on their resume this year. So I'll lay it.
Yeah. And then can Noah Bieniek say 700? Because Tommy Izzo is 1 win away from 700. He took off the hat. He took off the fucking hat. Oh man, he tried to slide that one in here. Michigan State's laying. This line's gone up a half a point. Michigan State's laying 11.5 now. It was 11 earlier this morning. In East Lansing against Michigan without Doug McDaniel, as you know, he's on house arrest, academic house arrest. It's a new thing. Lay it. What are you doing here, Mac?
No, who's your daddy? Fucking Izzo, lock up Sparty. This is gonna be a fucking route for number 700.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like this one could get really ugly.
This is gonna be bad, and he's gonna run it up too. He fucking hates Michigan.
Nick,
I mean, look, in general, you take the points in a rivalry game, but I think this one's different. Michigan, 3 straight double-digit losses. You got it right, Sparty here.
hi Noah.
How's it going, guys?
Should we lock this, guys?
I did. Yeah.
I have a lock. Yeah, NC Nick mentioned it. 3 straight double-digit losses for Michigan. 2 of those games included Doug McDaniel. And on the road without Doug McDaniel so far, they're 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread, and have lost against the spread by an average of 16.5 points, which one of them was a Purdue ass-kicking. The other one was Maryland, which I scratched my head. Dude, I don't think the books know how to set a line for Michigan without Doug, because I preached it. They don't have another point guard on this team. Doug's the only point guard, and Llewellyn's still coming off the ACL injury. He's last game against Iowa. He played 5 minutes, and Doug played 37. But on the road games, Llewellyn's playing 34. He's just not built for this yet. And it's obvious because as he's dribbling the ball up the court against Purdue, Lance Jones is just seamlessly picking his pocket 3 times a game. Most frustrating thing in the world. You can't dribble the ball up the court for some reason without a point guard. It's a miraculous thing, because Namari Burnett also has not played point guard at all in his career. Win number 700 for Izzo. I think it comes in just embarrassing fashion for the rivalry. The other thing is this rivalry this year. This is the lowest combined winning percentage of both teams since 1982. A lot of that's Michigan, but Michigan State has not had a great year either. Michigan State currently 12-8. They're halfway to that 17-13 fourth straight season there with this group of seniors. So Michigan State, still, they get the blowout win. This is a lock.
All right, you talked me into it.
It's an auto fade against Michigan on the road.
Yeah, quad lock, which means I don't even have music for that. I need to fucking, I don't know. I need to dive deep to do some to get a new music for 4 locks. Quadruple lock. Let's go. Michigan State minus 11.5.
Rob Donaldson says play him the Emmy Award music to get him off the podium.
That's funny. San Diego State is catching 1.5. This was at a pick earlier in Fort Collins, Colorado State. I don't know, NC Nick. I know you're at
Magic
Disney.
Kingdom.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom. You're at the Rainforest Cafe somewhere up in there. But Colorado State was up 11 with 55 seconds left and lost in overtime to Wyoming.
Highlights.
Unbelievable game there. And I think this is a get right spot for them. San Diego State has Utah State, who's currently in first on deck. Colorado State's 7th. Also, I feel like they've had their own troubles. The Aztecs have in Fort Collins. I think I'm ramming it here. Give me the Rams. I think they're going to beat them. I think the San Diego State team is not as good. Yeah, I will lock this. And Colorado State's 10-1. They're 10-1 in Fort Collins. And I do think we're on storm watch. So let's go. Nick, your thoughts on the Rams?
In Fort Collins. I mean, their last 2 home games, they beat Air Force in overtime and UNLV by 3. So I'm not. Something happened with Colorado State at some point in early January. I don't know. I can't get behind them. Aztecs have lost a couple road games in a row. I think they're a better team. That they're not going to lose 3 straight road matchups. Give me the Aztecs.
I think these environments are too tough, dude. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're fucking crazy. Miami, Florida. Oh, get the fuck out of here with this. Just heading up to Raleigh to go pussy pack hunting. All right. They're catching 4.5 now.
Woo.
in Raleigh.
Numbers going up.
Get the fuck out of here. Jimmy Larinaga on the money line. NC State bullshit. What has NC State done lately? Look at this. Look at what they've done lately. If you take out that Louisville game, which by the way, they almost lost that Louisville game. They have lost. They just four of the last 6, and one of those wins was that bullshit win against Louisville. They had one game where they got up against Wake. I'm all over the Hurricane here. Mac, what are you doing here?
No, I got NC State figured out. They're good at home. They're good at home. Miami's fool's gold, lock battle. Give me NC State in the pussy pack on a bounce back.
He hasn't learned. He locked up.
He locked up
NC State against Syracuse. He locked up NC State against Syracuse on Saturday.
He beat us. Mac beat us with the Wake Forest game, and they Wake Forest. They led for like 38 minutes of that game, and sure enough, NC State won and covered. No, I'm with Colby. You know, I was going to take Miami at -2.5. At -4.5, I'll lock it up with you, Dundee.
Now we got a problem. We got a problem.
We got a battle. Moneyline Mac. Rocking with the pussy pack. NC Nick. Dundee. Riding with Jimmy Larinaga and the Hurricanes. Wyoming is at Air Force. Air Force is laying 3.5. This game.
Should we bet Air Force?
This game. Hilarious to me.
You have to take Air Force, right?
I mean, but I do think Wyoming's better than them. No, I'm sticking to it. Jeff Linder can coach. Give me Wyoming. But I mean, I understand your logic 100%. I understand the logic 100%. Wyoming's not affected by altitude. They're at the highest altitude in D1 hoops, right? And so them going to Colorado Springs, this place isn't lit really. No, Wyoming wins, but yes, I understand the situational spot. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, and the line's fucking telling you. Fringe lock, check the big page. I made bet Air Force Smart because Wyoming just came back from 11 with like 10 seconds left. I don't know how they pulled off that game.
But they were up by 11 like earlier in the game. That was one of the wildest games ever. Yeah,
true, but it's still like, my God, how did they pull this off?
Yeah, NC Nick, what are you doing here in Colorado Springs?
Yeah, this and one of the other ones I mentioned is definitely the smelliest line of the night.
Courtney Love cut him off.
Damn.
Do we man down?
Jeez.
No, you're back. You're back. What were you gonna say?
I just made a couple unbelievable points. But no, I'd say Air Force wins a close one, so I'll take the points.
Loyola Marymount and Kelly LePepe are getting 16.5 points at Gonzaga. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. I'm locking up LMU. They're not that bad of a team, like from a roster standpoint. And Georgetown, Gonzaga is not a great team this year. Kelly LePepe is going into that kennel. He's going to show you who's top dog. All right. LMU plus the points. Sprinkle a little bit on the money line. Mac, what are you doing here?
They can't go in their back-to-back years. Remember, they won their last year. I've laid it with Gonzaga, but I still don't trust Gonzaga. I feel like they remember last year, and they're going.
We were on this money line last year.
I know. I think they're going to get fucked up.
Dude, I think from a talent level, they're not that far apart. Like LMU just hasn't put it together as far as wins, but like you watch them, you're like, damn, he could play. Oh, he could play. And it's Kelly LePepe. You can't fade him. NC Nick, what are you doing here at the kennel?
I'll take the points. I think it's a couple buckets too many.
Final game on the slate: Fresno State heading into Vegas, taking on UNLV. UNLV's laying 7.5. Yeah,
Vegas got to get this right eventually, right?
Give me Fresno plus 7.5. I don't feel great about it though. What are you doing here, Mac?
I'll take Fresno as well. I think Vegas wins, but I don't trust this team.
Yeah, Nick.
We don't know.
Not to sound like a broken record, but this is another game with some serious line movement. I was taking Fresno at 9.5, felt better, but I'll still take it at 7.5.
Boom. All right. Top play of the night, guys. Top play of the night. The play that I like most, if I really had to pinpoint this thing, which just so you know, we all said Jackson State tonight. So take it with a grain of salt.
No, mine was Texas, but I did come to Jackson State. I think
he meant by it was a quad lock. All four of us locked it up.
What's that score in that game right now, by the way?
Texas just
they
winning.
Came back. The chat jinxed it early.
Oh boy.
Texas up 6. Hook 'em.
Let's go.
I hate them.
Yeah, the play I like most is I actually think it's St. Bonaventure. Give me St. Bonaventure at home. Mac?
I think it might be K-State. It might be one of those two Wildcats. And I think NC Nick might take the other.
Right there.
Yeah. Are you taking the other Wildcat?
I do like both those. I have K-State as my favorite play. If I'm gonna, diversify this a little bit, give me Ole Miss then.
Okay.
Bieniek?
Dayton. I think it's a smash spot. They're gonna kick the shit out of George Washington off the loss at home. I think it's an easy one.
All right, folks. Appreciate everyone tuning in. 172 people. Hit that subscribe button. Help us help you. All right. People always say, hey, what can we do? This is like the best thing you can do is subscribe. Subscribe, youtube.com/thecollegeexperience. It really helps us. Also, hit that like button. If you got some downtime, hop on over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. That helps. Sponsors, look at that shit. Me and Noah Bieniek are going to be talking college baseball in a little bit here. SEC preview. Season's coming soon. Make sure you check out the Big 12 experience with Moneyline Mac and Company. Myself, Patty C, NC Nick will be live talking. The ACC released their schedule, their new schedule, 17 fucking teams. We're breaking it all down tomorrow night on the College Football Experience. Subscribe over there. The FCS College Football Experience is looking at the top transfer quarterbacks coming into the FCS this week. So check out that as well. And check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Just dropped a college basketball episode over there, as well as I know they're talking NASCAR. They're talking obviously the Super Bowl on deck. Check out all that stuff. Give everyone here a follow on Twitter. Noah Bieniek's on Twitter at NoahB77 _ NC Nick's on Twitter at NC _ @ICK. Moneyline Mac's on Twitter at Moneyline _ Mac. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. The College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. We appreciate you rocking with us. Until next time, folks, this is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
I lost a bet on the Super Bowl, so I had to dive in and crawl around through the snow. Don't believe me? Believe me, there's a video. We made it to promote March 5th and then we did the show. Before March there was a winter to be lived through, and snow fell on the DC metropolis. In some other cities this wouldn't be big news, but where I live it felt like an apocalypse. Not the kind where zombies or the wrath of God, but the kind where Mother Nature doesn't laugh it off. I didn't laugh at all. I saw the sky smoking the blunt, now waiting for the ash to fall. Traffic stalled for a few weeks. Capitol Hill of snow taking up a parking space. A couple notches on the beltway ain't unique, but how freezes more than your heart to race. I mean the rats were frostbitten, they lost it in their lives just to make it to the office. Exhausting cold front rose up. Detective Bailey didn't expect a camera and brought a gun to a snowball fight. I know my rights in the seasonal mood swing. Some of us winning, some of us losing. That broken clock's been blinking since winter. I hope it's not telling me I was born to lose. I lost my temper, but I found my center. Winning winter, so I can stay warm with you. That broken clock's been blinking since winter. I hope it's not telling me I was born to lose. I lost my temper, but I